about removing those distractions. Because this is the place where you're choosing to be mindful. This is the first step, right? You're stopping the things, and sometimes that's just turning off your thoughts. Just saying, look, yes, I know that I'm stressed about this and it is important, but just for these moments with these customers, I got to turn that off. Okay, so we're going to stop, and then we're going to look. So what is the look part of this? This is when you're looking for those clues, right? Not to judge the person, but to see, how do I need to listen? Because can you agree that we listen differently depending on the circumstances, right? There are different types of listening. And sometimes we're listening just for facts and information. Sometimes we're listening for people's feelings. I don't know what it's like to be on the customer service floor and have somebody come in, but I'm sure you've heard some stories from people, yes? Maybe sometimes some very sad stories. I don't know. So part of this is trying to look and see, how is it that I need to listen? And then the listening part is this. Put yourself in their shoes. Try to remember what it's like to walk into a place you've never been. My husband and I recently did this. We're looking for a new vehicle, and we recently walked into a customer service experience just like this. And can I tell you, it always makes me uneasy. Because I don't really know what questions to ask, and I don't really know what to say, and I don't want to bother anybody, and I don't want to be a burden, but I kind of want to feel attended to. Do you see what I'm saying? And you do this all the time, and so you forget what it's like to be on the other side of that experience. So the listening is really trying to put yourself in their position. Are they embarrassed? Are they interested? They don't even know what they are. They're just looking. All of those things, right? And here's the key part for listen. Don't interrupt. And I bet that's also hard, because I imagine time is an economy for you, right? You want to get through those experiences. Yeah. You want to be efficient. You don't want to waste anybody's time, and that's all incredibly valid. But especially in that initial encounter, when you initially start having a conversation with someone, don't interrupt them. Let them say as much as they want to say, and listen. All right, these last two kind of go together. All right? Ask and paraphrase. So once you've kind of let that person talk, this is the place where you can get involved. This is the place where you can try to get clarification, ask questions. I find that paraphrasing is a really good way to make sure I'm on the right track. Okay, so you actually this is what you want to do? So you're really wanting to downsize, is that what I'm hearing? Your kids are grown, you don't need a big vehicle, you kind of want to get something smaller. Am I on the right track with that? Right, so you're basically trying to paraphrase back. So in the process, you're getting clarification. But what else? What else is happening?
Confirming whatever the person's talking.
Right, and that's great, right? Because then you know you're on the right track.
You're letting them know that you're listening to them.
Yeah, because you're actually checking and getting some kind of confirmation back. The other thing that's important about those last two, it's forcing you to stay focused. You don't get to go chase that rabbit about how cheap gas is, because you're so focused on what question do I need to ask. Am I on the right track? Let me paraphrase back. It helps you not get distracted by your own thoughts, because you're so intent on trying to make sure you're asking good questions. So these are helpful. If you find yourself as a person where your mind wanders a lot, and yeah, I'm sure in some ways y'all hear the same things a lot. So this is probably a good way to kind of redirect, right? Slap yourself back into it, yes. Okay. So you're like, well, great, that's it, we're good. I've learned how to listen, this should be no problem, right? But let's remember, we're trying to be intentional, right? We're trying to make people feel heard. And unfortunately, you can do all of these things and still get in your own way. What am I talking about? People are only going to feel like you're listening if you look like you're listening. All right? So, as much as we want to talk about listening, I want to talk with you now about nonverbal communication. Okay? Because you may have the best intentions in the world. You may be slapping yourself all day long. But if you don't do some evaluating of all of this, then all those efforts are for naught. Because we want people to feel heard, even if we are just doing it, but what if we're not communicating it? All right, so we have to look like we're listening. So I'm going to focus on 3 areas that I want you to think about as you're attempting to be an intentional listener. Okay? The first are these. These babies. These are super important. In our culture, nothing is valued more than eye contact. It communicates honesty. Remember we talked about honesty and being trustworthy. We equate eye contact with those things. The primary way that you communicate to someone that you are interested in is making good eye contact. Now, are we talking about that creepy, long, extended eye contact where you just sort of stare at me? No. Okay? That's weird. I'm not telling you to do that. That would be unsettling. But good eye contact, right? The mutual gaze is about 1.2 seconds. So just intentional eye contact. When people are talking, I'm looking at them. This is how we convey that we're involved. And speakers will tell you over and over and over. They see people will tell you, speakers with strong eye contact are seen as more persuasive. You tell me what their other 2 are. I'm going to stop talking. Persuasive what?
Credible.
And
Sincere.
Oh. Anybody struggle with seeming sincere in this particular business? I'm just saying, there's the idea that I'm here for you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm being sincere. This is something you need, and I want you to have it if it meets your needs, right? I want to be the person that helps provide for you what you need, and I mean that. Because I believe that about you. You're here because you believe in what you do, right? So let's make sure we're communicating that. And one way we do that is with our eye contact. Face. Some of you need to have a conversation with this. Yes? This lovely thing. I am a person that says a lot with my face, whether I realize it or not. And sometimes it gets me in trouble. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. I remember doing a talk once, and I met the mayor of Pineville, former mayor of Pineville, Clarence Fields. And he told me, he said, I look mean. I've looked mean my whole life. He said, and there's not a whole lot I can do about this face. So I have to compensate with what I'm doing with my face because I'm very nice. I really like people. I've been a pretty successful mayor. But I learned early on that I've got to do some things with my face to make other people feel more comfortable. And I appreciated that he was willing to do that because he recognized if he wanted to connect with people, he might have to do something that was a little not as natural for him. The mouth. This is where we tend to look. We tend to watch people's mouths when they speak, whether you realize it or not. So if you're making good eye contact, but people are also looking at your mouth, what should you do with your mouth?
Smile.
I know. It's so simple, right? Just a little, not a creepy way. No, where your face is all tense. You're trying to, she told me to smile. I'm trying to smile. No, just something subtle, right? And you don't have to smile the whole time. That would be weird. But just an occasional smile. It goes a long way to communicating interest. Smiling is the easiest way to make people feel like you're interested.
That's right.
That's not hard, y'all. We can do that. And finally, body position. Now, this one is a key because a lot of people, when they hear nonverbal communication, they think body language, right? Nonverbal communication is a lot more than that. But what we do with our bodies matter, yes? Mm-hmm. All right, so how am I feeling right now?
Like you're like interested.
Am I interested in what you have to say?
You're not impressed.
Why? How do you know? What are your clues?
Your arms are folded.
Okay, so I've got folded arms. What else?
You're moving, like you're bobbing. Your lips are parted.
I've got person, okay? Okay. But I've also shifted my weight. What is interesting is that, you think, why does that even matter? If you put your hands in your pockets, you naturally will do this. And when you shift your weight, all of a sudden your body language went from being attentive
To a 4.
to bored.
Yep.
So, what do I do with these, right? One of the best things you can do is have an open posture toward people. Listen, we naturally cross our arms. It's not because you're ticked off. I don't think you hate what I'm saying. It's just comfortable, right? Maybe you're cold. I mean, this is not always mean I'm mad. But the reality is this closes me off, okay? It presents a barrier between me and you. So the more open I can try to be, the better. Okay, so what does this mean? Men love to stand side by side. Right? We look at it a common thing. I laugh about this with my sons and their friends. They can spend all day together playing video games, looking at the screen, and leave and be like, it's great spending time with you. I don't know that they ever made direct eye contact. They just looked ahead at the same thing. So, for my men in the room, this is going to feel a little bit odd because your natural tendency is to kind of look out at the same thing, right? The more open you can be, face-to-face communication does better at communicating interest and intentionality. But if this is too much for you, you're like, I can't go there with you, Jessica. Good idea, but that's weird for me. Can you just give me an angle? Because anything is better than this. Give me some open posture to the customer so that they feel like you're in it. Preferably without this, preferably with some eye contact and not the, yeah, okay, looking down, okay, really? I don't know that you're interested. I think you're thinking about your grocery list, honestly.
Your grocery list.
Which I have to go, so it's on my mind, right? I actually would love some open posture. This is also important when you're sitting, that you maintain some kind of open posture. Don't underestimate the power of nodding. Here's a little tip for my men in the room. Women are nodders. We nod when we agree. We nod when we like you. We nod when we want to encourage you. We nod. And we like it. And we like other people to nod. So even if this isn't about what you're doing on a customer service floor, and maybe in your own home, just start nodding. She'll think you're listening. Okay? Just smile. That's a little help.
Garrison marriage tip.
You got it back there. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now don't be weird with it.
Don't.
Yeah, I just want you to feel heard. Yes. No, that's like you look at chicken, okay? You do. Nodding. Like the smiling thing's a little hard for me. Okay, then give me a nod. I'm listening. I'm with you. This is a simple thing. And it's powerful, I promise. And monitor adapters. Does anybody know what an adapter is with nonverbal communication?
It's like a tick.
There you go, you're doing it right now. The pen, when you cross your legs, can you give me a little tap, tap, tap with that foot? Twisting. Right? Listen, these are things that we do, and most of the time we do them unconsciously. We don't even realize that we're doing them. All right? But if someone's having a conversation with you, and they're talking about something, and you're trying to make them feel heard and that you're interested, that you're sitting here doing this. Yeah, okay, good. I think we can make that happen. Good, let's do that. You're trying to be all open. She told me to smile and nod the whole time. You got this? It says maybe I'm bored. Maybe there's somewhere else I need to be, something else I need to be doing. And you don't mean it that way. That's how it comes across. So we've got to monitor what those things are that make it seem like we're distracted. So you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is where you need a friend. Seriously, this is the place where find somebody you trust that will be honest with you and that you can hear criticism from and say, tell me what I'm doing. When I talk to you, do I make good eye contact? Be honest. Am I looking off, looking down at my shoes because I'm kind of uncomfortable? Tell me the truth. Do I do this? Do I have a face that looks too serious? I mean it. I know that sounds sounds funny, but we don't know what we're doing, right? We don't know what we look like. And we can be thinking we're as friendly as everything, and we're trying to listen so well, and we're getting in our own way. So, if you don't really know what you're doing non-verbally, ask a friend and have them give you some positive feedback and some things that you can just be more conscious of, okay? You don't have to change who you are. You're already good. These are just things to add to, because at the end of the day, we do want to listen, but we also want to look like we're listening.